Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's the Mind of Lori, and today we're going to be doing a landscape painting in Studio Ghibli style. So I've been seeing this trend a lot in the art community on YouTube, and these paintings always end up looking so beautiful, even if it's like the simplest subject matter. So there's this trend of art YouTubers painting scenes from the Studio Ghibli movies, and they just always come out looking so beautiful because anybody who's watched those movies like Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, the scenes just always look so rich and vibrant, like you want to actually jump into that scene. And this just made me think of, well, where in real life do I actually want to go? And I really want to go to Costa Rica. But we got this panoramic happening, this panini press is really getting in the way. So instead, I'm just gonna paint my desires to fill that void for the moment, because nobody knows when this is gonna be over, when it's gonna be actually safe to travel. There's restrictions here and there, they're being lifted and put back in place. Nobody knows. So you know what? We're just gonna use painting as our form of escapism for now. So I'm actually really really happy with how this turned out, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, in the beginning I really was not sure where this was going. Like once I got the base colors down, like once I got to about this part of the video, I'm like, okay, I could kind of see it. But then, getting that foliage in there, I was like, well, girl, I don't know how we're gonna do this, because it's it's so much different, in my opinion. It's so much different from portrait painting or doing figure studies, because you can actually focus in on the one subject. But with landscape subjects, you're not about to paint every branch or every tree or every leaf or every rock. Like it's not about to go down like that, unless you're like a psycho. Well, not a psycho, but if you're that dedicated, kudos to you. But really, it seems that landscapes is more about the impression of leaves, the impression of rocks. So this was pretty fun to start experimenting with. And after having completed this landscape, I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a lot more, because it's just, you could get so vibrant with it. With this particular painting, I was trying to go a little on the fantasy side as far as having those colors really pop, but that is too part of the appeal of the Studio Ghibli movies, right? Like the backgrounds just look so beautiful and so vibrant. So I was trying to go for that feel here too. Although I do have to make a disclaimer. When I first started this process, it wasn't with Studio Ghibli in mind. It wasn't until I was trying to started researching the actual gouache painting techniques, or not the gouache painting techniques, but what I was seeing on Instagram and stuff like that. I started looking up references. And so here's the next day, you see I have this tree right above my palette. That was because I watched this girl's tutorial. Actually, let me find her name. Okay, yeah, I was watching Denisha Gearharry. I'm sorry, girl, if I didn't say your name right, but I was watching her tutorial on how to paint Studio Ghibli style trees. So that's where that tree came from. So then after doing that, I'm like, okay, now we can go back into the painting and try to really mimic that foliage. So that tutorial was really helpful, and I'll put that link in the description bar. In the description box. So once I got that down and I had a little bit of practice under the belt, I came back into the painting and started working to some degree or another from the background to the foreground. And it was coming together. I was seeing it. I was seeing the environment form, you know what I'm saying? And so it was coming together. Wouldn't it be cool, and this is such a side note, wouldn't it be cool if you had a superpower where the things that you drew or painted or shoot, even the songs you wrote, if like you could make those things actually come to life. I mean, now we're kind of getting into the conversation of manifestation, which is a totally different topic. But, you know, I'm over here painting my paradise here. It would be nice if me painting this paradise actually like put something out into the universe where I can actually go there this year. That would be great. Because I need to get out the house. Okay. I'm pretty sure you guys feel the same way too, unless you're one of those people who have been out the house and spreading the Rona. Okay. I'm not gonna say no names because I don't really know who's watching. Unless you're one of those people, then I'm sure you guys want to be outside too. So I don't know, y'all. Maybe y'all should paint y'all paradise, and hopefully we could manifest going to our vacations together. Okay, we could put that collective energy out there if we just paint our desires. Okay, it's coming together. I'm not gonna lie, the reference photo doesn't really look like this, but that's okay. It's my painting, right? It's not supposed to mimic the same thing either, which I know this video is all over the place with conversation, but hey, this is what's going through my mind right now. But one of the things that I struggle with, especially when working off of reference photos, and so like the next couple of videos that I'm going to be putting out, it's going to be me getting over this thing that I struggle with, which is the need to make everything look perfect. Like the reason why this painting even took so long in the first place was because I'm like, this has to look realistic, and it doesn't. Art does not need to look realistic, Loriana. It doesn't. So I'm gonna this painting was the first step in me getting over this, but I'm also gonna do more artwork that requires me to not paint realistic things, like for me to be more creative. And this painting, not gonna lie, was like one of the first or is the first thing that I've done so far that has actually made me step out of that comfort zone of having things being realistic versus just having them give off a vibe. You know, we're trying to paint a little paradise here, but it doesn't mean it has to look like a photo, right? You gotta kind of let the art and the creativity do its thing. So I'm glad that I challenged myself to do this. It was actually pretty peaceful once I got the hang of it after, you know, painting that tree and coming back to the painting. The only thing that I couldn't really figure out as I was doing this painting was how to get more vibrant greens. So like throughout the painting, I kept going back and forth between muted versus vibrant looks. Like for example, those leaves that are right above the waterfall have more yellow in them, but for whatever reason I was having a hard time creating variation in the foliage where there were bright areas, because obviously it's not the same shade all around the painting. You know what I mean? Like all of the highlighted areas are not necessarily uniform. So that was one thing that I was trying to figure out, but you know what, it ended up looking nice in the end. But I think in the future I'm gonna try and figure out how to get the most vibrant colors out of a painting versus just sticking to a particular color palette or a particular color. Like you can see that I've stuck with like one or two types of greens here. The other thing I want to work on is these rocks. So you can see these rocks here are really not they're really not the bee's knees. So I think too, I'm gonna also probably go take some pictures of these rocks on this nature trail that I'm near and try and draw those or paint those. All right, y'all, this painting is coming to a nice finish. Hopefully me painting this Costa Rican paradise is gonna manifest it in my life. Like, for real. I would definitely like to go visit it. I hope I can visit at some point this year, but if not this year, because you know, of the panini press, then maybe next year. But if you could draw and manifest anything that you wanted, comment down below what that thing would be. Is it a car? Is it a house? Is it a destination? Is it something magical? Let me know what it is. And maybe we could do a series of, like, I don't know, manifestation drawings or something. But thank you guys so much for joining. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, like it, and share it to your friends, to your artsy friends. Let them join the Mind Lori community. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much.